Mithrain's hands were thick-boned and knotted with scars. Unfit tools for anything delicate. Yet they were all he had, so he traded patience for true dexterity. Where humans had skill and elves had grace, dwarves had time. His fingers carefully tugged the knotted fabrics apart. Blanket by blanket, twist by twist, the bundle came undone until, at last, an infant lay on the war table. It was human, unmistakably so, round ears peeking through a halo of blonde hair. It reached forward with tiny hands and wrapped all 10 of its fingers around the dwarf's thumb. Both his index fingers still lingered a full inch from meeting. Mithrain looked down at it with true warmth. Then he looked back up at the elves and gave a command. "Kill it." No one at the table moved. The circle of elves looked from the child to him, then back. To their credit, the tension was more born of confusion than moral wavering. They knew they would not do it. They did not know why they were being asked. Solithan the Elder spoke first. "No," he replied. Mithrain nodded. The refusal was not merely hoped for, it had been expected. "This is why you will not win." The table sat in contemplative silence. Solithan, bravest amongst the elves, most forward, most dwarf, spoke again. "Because we will not murder infants? Because this infant is the son of Agamedes. He is the last king of the Hinterlands. Humans grow old quickly. In 25 years he will be a man, and he will start a war just like the one you are fighting today. A war suspiciously similar to the one you fought 25 years ago." The words were calm, but he watched the general's hands closely. Even a twitch towards a belt knife would be enough to betray temptation. Yet each hand remained perfectly still. There was a short pulse of shame in him. Envy. When he'd had this conversation with his own war council all those centuries ago, there had been several who'd considered it. Who had considered degrading themselves for something as empty as war. "You will not win. You could. But you see the cost now, and you know it as too high. You want to honor your treaties, your duties, your integrity. But you know the word for that which lacks soul but keeps contracts. You fought them with me, in the deepest, darkest depths of the stone." Solithan had gone white. He knew. He'd been so focused on winning this war that he'd failed to look ahead to the next, and the next, and the next. The cycle stood out to him, infinite and spiraling. He froze at the thought of walking down into that abyss. I could raise it. Him. I could try and break the cycle. He will learn from another human. Another infant that grows to manhood. He will learn, and he will burn your house and throne. Do you think I am so wise as to see the future without having lived the past? Whatever cleverness you will suggest, I have tried. I fought 10 generations of warriors on the same field before I realized I had 3 options. To burn my soul, to trap myself in endless war, or to lose. So I lost. His voice cracked on the last 3 words. The infant had begun to fuss over the cold, and he went to work swallowing it again. He'd made his point. Now it was time to take the princeling home. But as his hands made their slow work, he gave his final warning. You did not know when you started this, and you would not have listened if I had told you. But you know now, and if I meet you in those deepest depths, I will know what sent you there. The only pity you will find from me is a second death. He finished his work in silence, leaving as he came. The quiet lasted long after.